Hey everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hey, you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Hey
All right,
guys.
how's it going? Let's give it a couple more minutes. I'm gonna invite more people in here.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, people usually start trickling in after it starts. So
It's all good.
uh, wait another minute or two, and then we'll start officially.
Good evening, everybody. It's good to be back again. Hello,
No
guys.
man,
Good
where you
evening.
been?
I just took a break. I took a break. I went somewhere. I traveled, so I have to take a break.
Oh, I see. Yeah, like I'm gonna take a break probably like on Thursday, obviously, and Friday. Take a day off, 2 days off. Well, Friday we got a couple pre-sales launching, so that's gonna be pretty busy, anyways. All right, let me start the recording. Give me 30 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna start the recording in 5 seconds. Four, three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anti-Ruggers United AMA with American Dream. And we would like to start off by having Joe introduce yourself and your team, and then go over the project, like the big outline, the scope of the token in your project, and we'll go on from there.
Sounds good. So myself, I'm Joseph. I am the lead developer here at American Dream Token, and then my co-developer is Arthur or Arturus, to technically speak it, which is Howler in the chat. He is kind of
Hello
the
there.
he is kind of the person who planted the seed in my mind that this was even possible. The two of us were just we were token holders of another community, and it just was not the best of communities. And we kind of got talking about what we could do to make it better. And then he was like, well, honestly, the best thing we could do from here is to just do it ourselves and completely change the concept of what was going on. So when he kind of planted that seed, he provided me with a little bit more information about how this could actually be done properly. And basically, Pandora's box was opened. So from there, I realized that if I was going to do this my own way, there are 101 friggin' meme tokens right now. And I actually, like, don't get me wrong, I invest in a few, but I did not want to just be another meme token. I wanted to have practical use and an actual future for this. So that's kind of where American Dream token came to be. Now, I know the initial name American Dream to a lot of people might seem kind of funky. The American Dream's not really an American concept. It's an immigrant's viewpoint of the life and potential that you could have here in America, regardless of race, creed, color, religion, social status. It's pretty much just the allowance of a blank slate and equal opportunity. So our idea is we're trying to bring that basically as a global concept. So American Dream is the first token. It's kind of the catalyst for the entire project. Moving forward from there, we're actually working on a swap. And attached to the swap will, of course, be a staking platform, but as well as a secondary token. The secondary token will only be achievable or accessible through staking. And the idea of the secondary token is to be a governance or voting token for the final project. From there, we have what's known as Dream Chart that we're working on, Dream Launch, and then the project that I mentioned as the governance token is Dream Invest, where what we're looking to do is actually partner with small business startups around the world that otherwise would not have access to capital due to whatever reason. Like here in the US, I could go to any bank, ask for $100,000 in student loans. They'll give it to me, no questions asked. But if I ask the same bank for $50,000 for a business startup, they're just going to laugh at me. So what we want to do is actually provide seed money or an angel investment for small business startups, especially with all the COVID stuff that's happened. The whole every industry has been wrecked. So we want to kind of allow people the opportunity now more than ever to be able to chase their own dreams. And I personally believe a lot of these projects are going to be innovative, world-changing concepts that otherwise never could have came to be, because there are countless amazing business owners or really smart people that could come up with some amazing concepts that just never otherwise would have had access to what they need to actually get these things off the ground. And it's kind of my elevator pitch.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about your team? Like how many people you have on there? Who's doxed?
Sure.
Yeah, the whole group.
Yeah. So the other two that are not on the team is AJ and Luca. Now, AJ, she is pretty much my assistant when it comes to the marketing aspects of things. So she does marketing as her day job as it is. So she's been assisting me with a ton of information and help to just get in front of. It's kind of one of those two people are better than one, especially now before we launch, to get in front of as many faces as we can to set up things like, this AMA or just other promotions and advertising. And then the other gentleman, he right now pretty much just handles all of our social media accounts, which sounds, if you don't know about it, it really doesn't sound like anything exciting, but that's a full-time job in and of itself and kind of a headache that I appreciate not having to deal with.
Okay, and are you guys doxed or
Yes.
KOC? You got
Sorry.
KOC with
Yeah,
Pink
we
Sale?
are
What are the
KYC through
plans?
Pink Sale, and then we're also audited through TechRate.
Okay, tech right. Okay, and all of you are KYC or just you?
It's myself, Howler, and AJ are all KYC'd.
Okay, and who's the contract writer?
I am the contract writer.
Okay,
Well,
so
let me
can you tell us details?
I was going to say, let me
Did you,
double
like,
back on
book it?
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I use the Pink Sale platform to actually write the contract.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
you generated,
Yeah,
but
it
isn't it like pretty minimal to what you could do with it? Like you can't do a lot of things.
It is and it isn't. You can't adjust the differences between buy and sell tax and a few other things like that. But I was able to do everything that I intended on doing to begin with. So it seemed like a really good platform to use to not risk like screwing up the code in any way, shape, or form and not knowing about it.
Yeah, makes sense. I do think though we had another project that had Pink Cell, but they had zero tax, so that might have been issues because of that. But you guys don't have zero tax, so
Correct.
I think it'll be okay.
Correct.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's great. So are you only have one token, or are you gonna have multiple tokens? Because it seems like you're gonna have, like what you're saying earlier, that you're gonna have multiple tokens.
We will have multiple tokens, but each one is going to have a different utility. So it's not meant to be like the first token and then we're going to piggyback off that momentum by releasing a second token with like high volume. The secondary token is going to have low total supply. We're talking under 1 million total supply. And the idea for that is to actually be a really high value token that isn't really being bought and sold, because with it is supposed to come a lot of right and responsibility. So I want, if you sell out of that token, that you get your value's worth out of the rights and responsibilities. But also if you're buying into that project, I don't want anybody off the street to just be able to acquire those tokens at $1, $2, $3 a pop. I would like it to people who are buying in to understand the responsibility of the roles and the decisions that you get to make.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Next question: can you tell us about the use case of the first token that you're doing?
So the full use case is ideally it's meant to be the catalyst for the rest of the project, to kind of fund things as we go. Again, it'll be the required token for staking to achieve the secondary token. We've got a few other small things along the way that we're working on, as well as like a blockchain-based video game where this token will be the in-game currency. Trying to think of a few other things. It's going to be most likely the token that we actually accept for the Dream Launch platform instead of BNB will be our proprietary token. And then when we have our charting system, so any tokens that use our Launchpad platform, which we're trying to make it, anybody who has used the Pink Sale one will know for how simple it is. There's a lot of things that they don't actually answer and cover. So to prevent trial and error from future projects. We want to make it a whole lot more user friendly, but we also want people who are invested in us long term to be the ones who get the access to using that project. And then with it will also come the dream chart. Anybody who uses our Launchpad will automatically be put into the charting project. And then anybody from there that hasn't been part of like the Launchpad, it'll just be like with every other charting source. It's just kind of got to be voted to get into it.
Oh, okay, thank you. How are you planning to fund, like you said, the business startups, basically like a venture capital kind of thing?
Yep.
How are you planning to fund that? Where is that funding going to come from?
So a lot of that is going to come from the secondary and tertiary sources of income that will come from the future platforms. Anybody who's ran a swap or a charting platform or anything like that knows that there are additional revenue streams that come in by being owners of those. So the idea is to have those additional revenue streams, since they're going to come before the final project or the investment project, to immediately reinvest those, whether it be staked or other high yield forms, to just organically grow that total volume as we go.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. So basically, for the future, you're gonna have all these platforms like Launch Platform, and the charting platform, like hopefully better than PooCoin,
Well, I
and
mean,
that will.
when I think of PooCoins,
And-
honestly, for the longest time, I thought that's where like shitty tokens went. And like you went to PooCoins to check to see if that token was like garbage or not, kind of thing. I didn't realize how serious people actually use it for. So yeah, we
Yeah,
wanna
It's
make it a
honestly,
just
whole lot
push.
better.
We don't want to use it.
Yeah,
for what PooCoin is and what it charges for advertisement, I mean, it's shit. Like, there's, you know what I mean? Like, they have so much money and they can't even get better servers. They can't even do a better charting. They can't even have watch lists, proper watch lists. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
it's called PooCoins
It's
for a
just
reason.
people get greedy and
Yeah.
they don't spend their income where it's supposed to be, investing back in the
exactly.
project. And
That's how
we're-
99% of projects are, man.
yeah, exactly. And we are gonna change that. So we're here to give back to people instead of just hoard. So
What's one of
I
those?
love the
like,
idea of it.
I
And
have no desire to get rich. Don't get me wrong. I won't be mad if I make money out of this. It's the personal like success of seeing all of these things happen that I look forward to the most. Like the end goal when I start seeing small businesses get funded because of like opening Pandora's box. Like you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I agree, especially like in other countries, what they might need that extra help.
Exactly.
But if they do get it, it could be really profitable for everybody involved.
Agreed.
yeah,
But honestly, like I have to say this because, like your use cases, I like them. All these use cases you guys have. But the main reason why I do like them, it's kind of funny because we actually are launching our own token too in a couple weeks.
Okay.
And like half of the use cases, at least, is exactly what we wanted to do. Also, like basically help the community, Launchpad, like everything. It's the Fiverr of crypto. I mean, a lot of people have the same ideas, right? It's all about the execution, though. So
Exactly.
it's okay how many, like this could be like 5 other, tokens trying to compete. But like I said, 99% of them are only out for themselves just to make money. They don't even put for example, the marketing wallet, they don't put it back into the token. Most of the time, the devs just pocket it.
Right.
And that's the reason why a token dies. So, I mean, you could have an idea like with 20 other tokens, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to execution and how you manage your community.
Exactly.
If you got what it takes to be a CEO, when things get tough, if you're going to cry or if you're going to step up and, try to make it work. Because we've seen so many projects where the devs just kind of give up, or they either like fud it on purpose, or I don't even know what the hell they're doing, but they basically killed the project single-handedly. And then they always want to do a V2 and V3,
No. This
So-
is a one shot. I don't see a purpose in trying to start from scratch. If I screw this up, like it's a one shot. And I don't know if you've followed anything that's going on in our group, but the last couple of weeks in my personal life has been an absolute shit show. And I have done nothing short of focus even more energy onto this project to keep it going. My wife just had an emergency DNC on Friday. And even during that surgery, I didn't skip a beat, and I was right there front and center on a video AMA to just show proper face to the community. So there's no crime
I'm
to
actually
this.
telling you all this as a compliment.
Okay.
So don't take
Appreciate
it like the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like since it's similar to what we're doing and what we're doing is going to be amazing, then I know you guys are going to be amazing by default.
I love it.
That's kind of my point.
Fair enough. I appreciate it. I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure.
Friendly competition.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah,
can
I mean, it
cohabitate.
does.
We can bring each
We'll
other
talk
up.
about this later. We could
Yeah.
even do partnerships and whatever. Because
Exactly.
what I'm trying to say is, what we were doing, we have this anti-ruggers community, and it's really to help people out. A lot of people got rugged in the past, and since we started, we haven't even had a single rug that we supported that ended up rugging,
Awesome.
except one.
Well,
But it
we
wasn't
won't
even
talk
because
about
of our fault or the devs. It was just a code issue, and then everyone's getting refunded anyway. So,
Okay, fair enough.
but yeah, so end of the day, we're trying to help people out. So it's amazing what you guys are gonna be doing, and multiple use case, multiple tokens. That's actually really good, like an ecosystem, right? It's like a
Exactly.
long-term business plan.
Yeah. So we basically do want to build a self-sustaining ecosystem towards this, so everyone could use it, and if anyone like yourself is actually building a future to help people, we'd love to do a partnership with that kind of a
Yeah.
project. So
Yeah,
anything towards good karma is all over me.
Agreed.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, like our main goal is to unite against the scammers, against the ruggers, right? So if you have good communities, good networking with a lot of amazing people and projects, I think it would help a lot to prevent everyone from getting scammed. Imagine like if everyone in BSC was in my group, in your group, and the other lounges that vet their tokens, then scammers wouldn't really make any money because then no one would ever join their tokens.
Exactly.
So it's a long war, but I think we'll be successful because the less money they make, the less they're gonna try. So they until they give up, it's not worth it for them. So that's the long term goals, to make this space as safe as possible and transparent. So I do like all the use cases you guys have. It's pretty
also,
awesome.
just to add, we are a highly deflationary token. So the more trades we get, the lower the supply will get by itself. Just
How
to
is
add
it
that
deflationary?
there. We do have a high holder rewards tax, which is 8%. So
Yeah.
To
burn
touch,
address is also considered as a holder, so it will get the most share of that.
Okay, so that's
Unless
the purpose of the burn. Okay,
Yes.
so you're doing the burn, the 15% burn. So it'll basically get 15% of all the 8% of the reflections, and they'll be burned too. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
so I guess we can change that in the future where the community can vote on it once we have the governance token. Because at the end of the year, if we do succeed in a high trading volume, the the supply might drop to like 30 or something percent. Plus, we're gonna do manual burns as well, just to add to things and milestones.
Right. We've got it set up that way so it won't burn out of control. Like if you put a burn function immediately into the code, you can't change that. But by having the burn wallet collect part of the reflections, if it becomes a point in time where we have severe use case for our token, but the supply is burning it at an accelerated rate, we could remove that wallet from accepting rewards. But for the time being, and it's something you are able to go into our code on BSC scan and verify that we haven't added that wallet at any point. But if it's voted on by the community, we can actually add that wallet then to not get the reflection rewards, which would then stop the burning process. But that's only, again, if we're burning at such a rate where it's like, shit, we're going to run out and we want this project to succeed. And the community says,
I mean,
okay,
you could never run out.
Well, you never say never. You never know. But ideally, we'll never run
No,
out.
I guarantee you can never run out because it's always going to decrease the supply. But here's the thing: if you multiply 1 by 0.9,
right,
you could do it a billion times. It's never going to go to zero. It's going to go decrease. You're going to go to decimals. Maybe your total supply is going to be half a token, but there's like 9 decimals in there. So
I mean, you're not wrong.
You can never really run out.
It's just making sure that we still have enough for applications. Or when we start going for centralized exchange listings and stuff like that, just making sure we have an appropriate amount to the supply. But I mean, we're talking years down the road before I think we would encounter that issue anyways.
Yeah. And then in this BSC space, like honestly, like you basically make it or break it within whatever the devs do. The first 2 weeks is kind of like the majority of the tokens, if they're gonna die or not. Like a lot of long-term tokens, they might even not do great in the first couple weeks, and they're the exception because it takes a while to build up all the use cases, all the platforms. It's like a long-term hold.
Yep.
But like 99% of all the plays in here, the tokens are. It's like if it doesn't take off in the first couple days, it's like it usually ends up dying because everyone just loses interest. The devs fud their own project to do a V2 or V3, like I said earlier. It gets ridiculous.
No, that's never going to happen because even if we reach the soft cap, we'll have money for development, marketing, everything that's needed to continue on in this space.
Exactly, because I feel I like your guys' vibe. I mean, I could kind of tell that you guys are definitely serious about this. So,
we're super pumped.
And you guys are from, where are you guys from, America?
I am. So I'm in the Chicago area, and then Howler's Northern Ireland area.
Okay, so let me ask you this very important question. Are you living the American dream right now?
If I wasn't living the dream, I wouldn't be able to even have attempted this token. So I may not be living the dream that I want, but having the opportunity to launch this token kind of is the embodiment of the American dream.
Exactly. I mean, I feel the same way. Like, I mean, there's always obviously levels, right? You could always upgrade yourself. You could always, upgrade your life. Financial freedom. The more time you have to do what you love. Like it's not just about the money. I mean, money is what kind of gets you to where you could do whatever you want. I feel.
Yeah.
I think that's the real dream. It's not about owning a house and going to work every day. I think it's about doing whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
And not care about a budget. I think that's the real dream.
That is exactly what it is. It's not the fancy things.
It's a perspective of what it is actually. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, you're good. You're good.
I mean, that's my dream. Like, basically do whatever the heck I want and not care about how much money I'm spending.
Exactly. Like, in this project, we are looking for people to have their own version of it. It's just not like from one person's view. It's from everyone around the world, what their American dream would be, So with future utility, with future utility, we're going to bring that out to people so they can live their own version of that dream. And I'm personally super excited about that.
Man, I'm getting excited too. I like it.
What measures are there to prevent a rug pull? And how do you assume your community the validity of this coin? How do you tell people that this is a real coin? What assurities are there for someone that doesn't know about these crypto spaces?
So there are a couple things in place. It's still one of those, it's impossible to stop a whale from surprising us with like low volume transactions that we don't know about. But from our side of things, the liquidity once we launch will be locked in PancakeSwap for 4 years. So we cannot remove the liquidity for at least those times. If you check the pre-sale link, you're able to see that. We have anti-snipe and anti-whale bots actually built into the contract itself through Pink Sale that prevent large transactions as well as accelerated transactions on the buyer-sell front. So if they're too large or too quickly, it will reject that automatically. And if there are multiple consecutive repeated attempts at like a really fast rate, like if somebody puts in 30 orders in a matter of seconds, their wallet will be auto blacklisted and they will have to contact us, explain the situation and explain how and why they screwed up for us to even manually remove it. So if it's a bot or something like that that's automatically set up, it shuts it down and there's no way for that bot to contact me. So it's just one more measure put in place. And then the remaining tokens after the pre-sale, there's about 44% of the total supply. Those are vested and returned to us at 1% monthly for future development of the project. The idea of those tokens is not to be released like into the ecosystem on PancakeSwap or anything like that, but we wanted to have those on the back end for centralized exchange listings for when we start releasing these other platforms. That way we would actually have the tokens for it. But if we're not using those tokens, they get sent right back into the liquidity lock, or right back into the lock phrase.
Yes, I saw that on your website.
Yeah.
Would there be any third party kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but kind of checks in place? You did mention that the liquidity would be locked in for 4 years, but how is there any guarantee that this is taking place? You said sorry, I'm
No, you're okay.
a complete rookie to this whole sphere.
You're okay.
So I don't understand crypto or
Oh.
what's happening to me.
I can answer that. Well, whenever you go into the pre-sale and pink sale, they do that automatically. After we list it and we finalize the transaction, there's no way before that for us to take anything out, like any BNB that was put into it. So after we press the button to basically finalize it, everything gets locked up immediately, and people are able to claim their stuff. So, as you saying, is there any guarantee that the liquidity will be locked? Well, that's up to Pink Seal if they guarantee it will be locked.
I understand. Thank you.
Which
so they're
they
the
are
third
quite
part,
big
yeah.
of a project, and it should be. Yes.
And they are the third party who's ensuring that it's all locked. So when you look at the wallets where it's being held, you should see that it's in a lock wallet or it's in the liquidity wallet. Like, it won't be the development or the marketing wallet. And it should have
Okay,
the
yeah, that
proper
makes sense.
notations for everything.
Yeah, we were actually going to get to that anyways, because I wanted to talk to you about the distribution, and that's kind of like what determines how ruggable a project is. Other than, like, something in the code that you could mint tokens,
Yeah,
but that should be covered by the audit.
correct. And there's no mint function. That's why that burn, like being able to shut that down, was such a big deal, because I can't make more tokens. When they're gone, they're gone. But we shouldn't run out.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like the 5%. We could just go over the token distributions right now.
Sure.
So you have the 44% vested, a 30% launchpad pre-sale, 15% initial burn, 5% team wallets, 3% private sale, 2% airdrop, 1% marketing wallet. So none of those look like red flags to me, like, some kind of huge wallet that's going to be unlocked that could dump at any time. The only thing I would see is if you guys go like 10x to where, like the market cap increases by 10x, but liquidity doesn't always, equally increase with market cap, to where that 5% team wallet could end up being huge. Then, of course, if you guys hold your whole team wallet until that point and dump it, of course, it's going to dump the chart a bit. But I don't think it'll be like a full-on rug pull, even at the. But at the same time, if you guys are in Anti-Ruggers United and you haven't taken profits at 10x, like, I don't know what to tell you, man. You guys are playing it right.
So we actually,
I tell you what,
we have a salary in place for us. End of day.
Yes.
We've incentivized it. We're not here to sell. We're here to hold those wallets so that if somebody else does achieve 1 or 2% like total supply and they sell, that the community can look at us as the team and go, okay, the actual developers haven't sold, we shouldn't sell either. So we've got a salary in place to more or less pay our bills and incentivize not only myself, but the entire team to provide total focus on the project as we keep going.
Man, I'm telling you guys are like almost exactly like our freaking token, because I'm also doing 2% dev tax. I mean, everything's like super similar. 8%. We're doing marketing instead of reflections.
Okay.
That's the only like difference. And we're doing like lotteries for the marketing. That.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of differences there. But like, seriously though, like, I like you guys already, because you guys are almost like, in a way similar to what I'm trying to do.
I appreciate it.
you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, agreed.
I tell you that. I've been in this space long enough now to actually know what would actually work and what wouldn't. So I brought these ideas to Joe here, and we actually discussed this, and it seemed like the way to go. We don't want to like completely lock out all the wallets, like team wallets or whatever, but we are all in the agreement not to even touch that, because we'll be getting salary. So we also want people to understand that there is a 5% liquidity tax, which will be sent back to us in BNB to pay our salary, and for future liquidity, like to actually put it in the pancake swap or whatever, So
what do you mean by that? But the 5% liquidity tax?
So the
'Cause I'm not
contract,
seeing that.
Yeah. So
it's on the contract. It's very public. So the 5% for every transaction will be liquefied. Let's say that. So the contract would automatically sell 5% of every transaction. So we Well, it's on many contracts, I guess, like Cody. If you ever heard of Cody token,
No, yeah,
Uh,
I understand how it works, but I see like you have 3% to liquidity for your tax and 2% for salary. So how does that add up to 5% to liquidity?
Well, I think what he
oh,
means is when the contract was written, it was we set the 5% as the liquidity with the intent on splitting it as 3 liquidity, 2 for salary. Because with using like the pink sale form, you can't add a separate salary tax. But we were worried that if we had made the marketing tax higher, because when you do the marketing tax on pink sale, that gets returned to you in your native token. So we didn't want to have to, on our side, sell our native token for BSC before we distributed that amongst the team as a salary. So we have it tied in with the liquidity tax, so that way it's automatically done and minimizes price fluctuations for our token overall, and doesn't send out any red flags as like, why is the marketing wallet selling 2% on a weekly basis, like to cover these
I
things.
mean,
So
yeah, exactly. So, but your liquidity tax of 3%, it's not actual liquidity. It's just swapping to BNB. That's what it's doing. It's not
correct.
actually going directly into liquidity. So
That we
it's
have to
basically like
manually.
marketing tax.
Yes.
Where you take your 5%, and the contract's going to sell those tokens, get your BNB, and then you're going to manually split it 3% into liquidity. You're going to add that into liquidity, and the other 2% is the salary. Is
yeah,
that
Correct.
correct?
Which
that's
also
correct.
allows us to put liquidity on other swaps and or centralized exchanges versus having it automatically go to pancake swap and us not be able to split things up. So short term, it'll go into things like pancake to allow the liquidity to be where it needs to be, allow the value of the token to go up. But long term, it's not shooting us in the foot over the next 4 years where we have to find other sources of liquidity to add exchanges and swaps. We will have that already coming in to build up what we need to make sure that we can put things in place where they need to go.
So how are you going to pair it though? Because that 3% liquidity is going to be into BNB,
Correct.
but you're going to have the tokens too, right? To pair it equally to
Correct.
add the
That's
liquidity
where
in.
the 44% of the ecosystem comes in.
Yep.
So whenever we need it, that will be used. All unused tokens will be sent back to lock, but whatever we need to use, we'll use it in pair of that. So
Oh, I see.
everything will be transparent in the community. Everything will be announced. If there is any questions regarding anything like that, always will be answered.
Okay, well,
And
thanks. I have 2 suggestions for
Sure.
this. Like, or it's more like an idea I want to throw out. We could talk about this if you want. So one thing you could do is for the 3% liquidity, right? I mean, obviously you could change the numbers if you need to, but instead of doing the 3% is going to be sent to BNB, and then you're going to have to pair it with the locked tokens that you have 1% vested a month, which will take you actually a whole month, right? Just to get the 1%, and you're at this time you already collected 3% BNB, so you won't even be able to catch up. Why not use some of that liquidity tax to buy back? So, for example, 1.5% would buy back, the other 1.5% would stay
that
in
was
BNB,
actually in my
and then you
mind.
can
Yeah.
pair it
It-
together, and then
It is
boom.
definitely on the plate. I guess it was just one of those, if you show your whole hand of cards every time, then it kind of, opens up every single aspect. So it is definitely something that is on the plate of things to have happen. It was just the overall like grand scheme of things. That's like the black and white concept behind everything. But doing community buybacks or stuff like that to have like the immediate amount of tokens we need, there's no questions asked. As needed, that'll happen. And then also too, if there are like down the line in a couple of years where like that liquidity isn't necessarily needed for liquidity, but it can get us either better servers or something like that. At that point too, it could also be funds can be diverted to where it needs to go to just kind of keep the project, accelerating forward.
Okay. Yeah. Another suggestion, the second one is for the 40% locked, because I feel like a lot of projects do that, like because they're saying in the future they're gonna, be on multiple exchanges and they're gonna need those tokens to add. But same thing, like you're gonna need to have BNB paired with that, so you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna get BNB paired with those tokens to add liquidity to other exchanges. So another suggestion, same thing as this one, instead of having 44% locked, you could do something like maybe reduce the reflections to holders, and actually have a buyback wallet to where all it would do, like let's say instead of 8% reflections to holders, you have 4%, and another 4% is buyback. So basically, what you would do, you would get it would be same as the liquidity 3%. You'll get it in BNB, but then what you would do is you would buy back those tokens, and now you have tokens. And normally people would burn them. Like a CEO or of the project, you would want to burn those tokens because what's the point of a buyback if you're just going to buy back and then sell it?
Correct.
But instead of burning them, you could use those tokens to lock or not to, basically to hold for future developments and exchanges. So instead of locking 44% off the bat to where you only 1% is going to be unlocked, you could literally have a buyback wallet that will get tax and generate basically the BNB, and also you could use it to buy back the tokens, and you could use that for your future needs.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
mean,
think of that
it's
idea?
definitely not off the table, of course. We did think about this, and yeah, I mean,
'Cause
like,
I just feel
yeah.
like the 44% is going to be useless to you. Like it'll take way too long to do anything with it, anyways.
might take too long, but at the same time, we kind of looked at maybe the price as well of it. So releasing 440 billion as its 1%, I believe so.
Correct.
At every month, that is quite a big value as well. Including the buybacks that we actually would do, it would kind of equal itself out in a way. We could do it.
Yeah, but I
And
feel like that's almost like a negative because you release 1% and people are gonna be like, oh, they're gonna dump 1%, like tomorrow or the next day, whenever the vesting
oh
period is over.
no, we're never gonna sell tokens. That's for sure.
No, yeah, those aren't
People can-
designed to be token. And it's one of those, I see where you're coming from, and it's going to take a little bit of time, but I feel after the first month or two of the community seeing that 1% get released and see what happens to that token, and then it gets either sent back to lock or used for utility, we'll start to build that transparency of those tokens aren't getting dumped. Like if it happens in the first month and we dump that token, then obviously red flags go up. You like spam us as a rug pull or whatever you need to do. Like you'll see that we fucked up. Or sorry, I don't know if I can use that word. But like as the second month comes along and you see that those tokens were either sent back to lock or used for utility or liquidity and not sold, like at that point, it's going to start to build further trust as well. So it seems useless, but in the grand scheme of things, I guess you'll either get to learn from our successes or learn from our mistakes as to whether or not this worked for us before you launch yours.
I mean, we're going to launch in like a week anyway, so it's for 2 weeks max. So yeah, it won't be that far along,
Okay. Fair enough.
But okay, yeah, I just like I like actually brainstorming with devs when we do AMAs. Sometimes I have, especially for like a project, I'm always throwing suggestions left and right.
No, I appreciate.
Yeah, we could always get on a call, actually, a private call, and we could brainstorm any ideas we have.
Yeah.
And
okay. Yeah. For real.
If we ever do a partnership, we can definitely do that.
So I'm still a little confused though. Like,
Sure.
what exactly this token right now that what is this going to be used for? Like, the whole use case for this one, because I know you're going to have you're going to have a governance token. You're going to have other tokens.
So it'll be main utility for all our platforms. It'll be main utility for swap, basically charts, invest, launch.
But how though?
It will be basically you have to maybe hold it. We haven't worked the kinks yet, but that's still that's ongoing conversations.
It is still, so there are some things to smooth out, but like say to get the governance token, you have to hold and stake this token. To do our dream launch, you have to hold, and instead of spending say 1 BNB to build the contract, you're going to have to spend our token to build the contract. So even though we're not an exclusive like coin, we're not our own blockchain, which we are actually slowly starting to look at just to kind of build this as our own total system. But the idea is as a token to try and make it as like our entire ecosystem will be funded through our native token. So when you want to do the launch, you're going to spend us. You want to get the governance, you're going to stake us. When we launch that game, the in-game currency is going to be us. We're trying to make it so every single one of our platforms, we are the accepted currency, not something else.
And also, we are like this kind of exclusivity won't, in a way, bring normal people, like everyday people who doesn't really know about crypto or anything like that. So we are trying to we will build our platforms in such a way that everyday person could use it, because not everyone is tech savvy as some of us are in the blockchain community. So we will be mostly looking into people who are actually still learning the process, and we will basically base those platforms for them
Kind of like that person who
to be able
calls
to
every
use them.
token a Bitcoin. We're trying to pretty much not market towards them, but make it so easy that the person who thinks all crypto is Bitcoin
Yes,
can start to understand the differences and effectively utilize the whole blockchain resource.
because at the moment, buying any token on BSD or Ethereum blockchain right now, even through Uniswap or PancakeSwap, for everyday person, it is quite hard. And I was trying to get a few of my friends in, and they're just give it up, you know. So we kind of want to bring uh, that stuff to that kind of audience, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't think many has done it yet, but in my mind, all people should know blockchain and crypto.
It's been around long enough.
Yeah. So basically, the value to the investors, it all boils down to this token is going to be used for all the future projects. Like you either got to hold it, or maybe you have to burn it, or to kind of pay for something. Like let's say you want to use Launchpad, you got to hold a certain amount of tokens. You want to white a spot, you need to hold a certain amount of tokens. So every time there's an event happening in your ecosystem, it's going to cause a demand for the token because people need to hold a certain amount or need to do something with a certain amount. So it's going
Basically,
to have
yeah.
a consistent demand because at the end of the day, as investors, we all care about if you buy it and hold it, is it going to go up or down?
Exactly.
And a lot of devs blame paper hands. Like, oh, these guys don't believe in us. They're selling. Prices tanking. Paper hands. That's the reason why we're failing. But if you think about it, it's not because of the paper hands. It's because of the devs. The
Mhm.
only reason paper hands are there and they're acting like paper hands is because they lost trust in the devs.
Exactly.
And they're freaking out. Yeah, of course.
Here's me. Like I'm literally diamond holder in half the projects I have right now, and the other ones I sell. Within like the first 2 minutes of the launch because I don't believe in it. I just believe it's going to be pump.
Yeah.
Like,
Get
if
out
you look
before
at
the dump.
99% of the charts that when they launch is always all time high in the first couple seconds. When the snipers get in, then they dump, and then like usually that price is never seen again. The first couple minutes of launch, and most tokens do not never see that
Yeah.
price. It just slowly
The
slow
hype
rugs
just-
or goes down from there.
The hype dies down, of course.
It is. It's
But
a lot of
we
devs who
are-
get disheartened too. Like they see that pump and they're so excited, and then they see the dump and they don't know how to handle that kind of like putting fires out. I guess like that's what I do in my day job. That's what I do for a living. Is when shit hits the fan and it looks like a horrible situation. Like to me, that's my favorite time to get in front of this opportunity and then see a new all-time high. Like not just fix it, but like just make one hell of a correction where all of a sudden we see a better all-time high, and all those people who did sell out are like, oh fuck, we missed our actual opportunity.
Yes, and actually, that brings me to my next question, which was what I was going to ask you. What is your guys' experience in the blockchain and other projects? Have you done any other projects before or worked on a team? And also, what about like your actual real life jobs? Are you like kind of what is your experience? Have you had any experience running a business or what kind of just basically what about yourself? Like, what's your day job? And like, are you once you make it big, or like what are you planning to make this into your permanent? Like once it takes off, you're gonna quit your day job and you're gonna focus on this 100%. So just give us like the inside scoop and all that.
Well, for me, my day job is actually very demanding. It's basically physical work. I am IT technician. I've been an IT technician for many years. I just can't find work where I live, so I would have to move to a big city to actually work. And I do kind of have an anxiety issue. so it's not a way to go for me. So I kind of just stick in my own kind of village. But yes, whenever this starts, whenever we start getting salary, I am quitting my day job and going full time on this. So as I said, I am an IT technician. I've been IT technician for years, and I am very tech savvy towards all this blockchain, everything else. I'm sorry, hearing this echo.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that's from. Actually, let me go. I think it's from Bush Doctor.
But going back to that idea of American dream, that is my kind of American dream, to actually be at home, working right here, be with my family as much as I can, and just do work the way I want to work, um, instead of doing backbreak work where I'm at now. Um, I hope that answers the question. I kind of
Yeah.
forgot a couple of them questions you asked at first, because there was like 10 of them at once. So
Oh, yeah. What about Joe? And then we'll
Yeah.
go on to the other question I asked.
Awesome.
Because you said your day job is putting out fires, right?
Oh yeah.
Are you a little fireman?
Yeah. No, I'm actually a walking, talking fire extinguisher. But it's even better than that. So what I do for a living now currently is I do sales and marketing for various liquor brands, including anything from like low-level marketing all the way up to large experiential marketing events. So some of the big brands that I've worked with that are like household things that everyone will know, like William Grant. So Glenfiddich is one of the brands that I still do a little work for on the side, as well as like Heineken. So these are two massive international companies that I'm already doing work with, that I'm already like kind of teasing at potential partnerships with to do experiential marketing that either incorporates this project or is sponsored by this project, whether we do just like a little booth at a convention, or like Heineken likes to do a lot of drive-in movie theaters, or like VR 3D headsets, where basically it's going to be exclusively for or paid for by ADREAM tokens. So like ADREAM token members will get to do that kind of thing. In addition to that, like I've done sales and marketing for pretty much my entire adult life in one way, shape, or form. I used to do mortgage sales, which was an absolute headache. This was in like 2009, right when the bubble like had popped and houses were pennies and everybody was super underwater. Also done a lot of bartending in my life, and that's kind of what led me to where I am now. Just without sounding like the big salesman, but just being a performer, being a salesman, getting in front of people, and just being able to diffuse situations. Like there's nothing worse than when somebody is intoxicated and their food comes out wrong and they're starving. Like they're already hangry and need a Snickers, but they're now like intoxicated and they need that Snickers to completely like bring that situation down and resolve it in a peaceful manner. Is just kind of a skill that I've acquired through all of this. As for like small or business ownership in the past, I have run small like events businesses, whether it was catering or something along those lines. In addition, my wife is actually a hairstylist, and so she rents a chair, but we're working on actually building up her own salon. And funny enough, if this succeeds, which I have a lot of faith that it will, we are in talks right now with a Christmas tree farm that's for sale right next to our house, because we kind of want to add that into our little repertoire of things that we are looking to manage and run. So ideally, my plan is on the 26th of November, I see this hit that 1,000 BNB hard cap, and then the following Monday, I let my boss know, like, hey, sorry, but got a new project. Here's a 30-day notice, to just kind of not screw them as I end out the year, but my intent is to have full focus on this. The Christmas tree farm, I'd be living on it. It's kind of like my wife's little pet project, so even if that happens, this is my focus, and this is what I want to continue to be my focus.
And also adding on the, if we had any previous project or anything like that, I for myself have kind of worked on a project, but I was kicked out of my own project, if I may add. So I was kind of bummed out, but I met Joe here, and we kind of start working on it. But me and Joe were a part of this community, Yusita. We basically met there. We bought in, and the dev actually rugged us.
Twice.
Twice. Yeah, I think he's still actually selling tokens.
Yeah, might even be a third
And
rug in the works. So we've tried to shut that down to prevent any future investors from getting screwed. But that's kind
and
of
basically just giving back to community. Whenever we started this project, we kind of talked about bringing as many people as we can from there who actually lost money and give them a chance into making it into our project, you know. So we basically got, I think it was 2% of total supply will be going towards airdrop for them or Yuskita holders. So every one of them will be checked if they actually sold any or held. So just to make sure they weren't any malicious selling or buying, anything like that. None of them people will receive it, of
And
course. But we are trying to give back to the community that we were part of, as you actually mentioned it in the start.
Yep.
So
and the airdrops don't start till after we hit Pancake Swap, and we are breaking it up across multiple drops to prevent anybody from going, oh, we just got a bunch of tokens that we can dump really quick. It's going to be the first drop. We're going to then watch those wallets for 30 days to see if anybody sells. If they sell, they disqualify themselves from the future drops. And so we're breaking it up across multiple ones to, again, build that community trust, give back to those who got rugged like we did, but also in such a way that it doesn't impact the value or price of this project. So it was finding that fine line between like the community support and doing what was right, but also not like shooting ourselves in the foot before we take off.
Okay. Another thing I would like to say, I looked at it seems like you guys have, the contract already out and there are holders.
Correct.
So I would like, I know you had like a private sale, like 2 or 3%, right?
Yep, it was a 3%, and remaining tokens from that private sale got burnt as well.
Okay, so there's like 2 wallets that are holding 2%.
Yep.
And there's 4 wallets that are holding 1%.
Yep.
Because I assume all the rest are the private sale guys.
Yep.
So what about the top, 2 wallet number 3 through 8, the ones that are holding those tokens? Can you tell us what those are?
Of course. So one of the 2% wallets is my personal wallet as a dev wallet. One of those 2% wallets is the 2% that is dedicated towards the airdrops. 3 of those 1% wallets, so that'll be the 3 plus my 2%, are each of the team wallets, so AJ's, Luca's, and Howler's. And then the remaining 1% wallet is actually the marketing wallet.
All right, so yeah, good. That checks out. Yeah, the marketing wallet, team wallet, 3%.
So we do encourage everyone to actually keep checking them.
100%.
So we do encourage everyone in the community to keep an eye on them.
And then also, it hasn't been done yet, but I do intend on the white paper for the dev wallets as well as the marketing stuff like that, like putting whose wallet is whose. It's pretty easy to know like whose the 2% wallet will be. Once that other 2% is gone as airdrops, like everyone's going to know that's me. But I do want it known that like if shit hits the fan, like if it's the middle of the night, I'm sleeping and shit hits the fan, like I would like it to be immediately known like who's kind of fucking this up. So one, we know if it's the team, and if it's not the team, like we can kind of dive deeper. Is it a whale that sold? Why did they sell? Was it a bot that managed to get through the anti-snipe and anti-whale features we have in place? Like just to kind of prepare for kind of the shitstorm that could happen before it becomes like a real shitstorm.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So it seems to me like you guys are definitely ready for this, and the big thing, like I talked about earlier, like the CEO, it all comes down to like if they could handle the pressure a lot of times.
Yeah.
So you think like if there's like, let's say you're down, would you get depressed, for your project, or do a V2? Like you said, you wouldn't, right? Because I feel like a lot of these AMAs we have and these devs are so like confident, and then like something happens and they start crying about it and bitching about it and blaming it on someone else. And always ended up doing a V2, like because that's like the easy way out for them. But it appears to me you guys are actually not doing.
No, if there's the funds and ability for a V2, why not fix V1? Like if it's tanking, it's nothing short of an opportunity to seize that. Whether the community, or the, sorry, not the community, but like the dev wallet or something like that buys back to like fix that price fluctuations through the liquidity or whatever is needed. Like there's no point in screwing it further, because everything, like, just look at the stocks. It's a 7-year cyclical market. They go up, they go down, they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. Inevitably, at some point after this launches, we're going to see a downturn. Look at crypto in general. We're at an all-time high, and we're launching at an all-time high. It's inevitable that we're going to see a crash across the entire market. And after that crash, it's inevitable we're going to see it go up even higher than it was before. That's just how it works. So no, if anything, when I see the crash coming, I see that as an opportunity that once we get through it, it's going to be higher than ever before. It's just how the market works.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the actual crash. I'm talking about even 3 days later, there's devs that
no, but I mean like
cry about it.
Our project, like if I see like it dip, inevitably, as long as my view stays the same, it's gonna get higher. Whether it's just my coin or all the coins dipping, like it just happens. There's gonna be the pump, there's gonna be the dump. Once the dump happens, that's when the real work begins. Like that's when it solidifies for a consistent upward movement, not like pumps, dumps. So no, I'm not worried about that.
No, I think Joe is the right man for this job, to be honest. And there's just no giving up on him. And I give him all my trust that I have. So us talking, and we KYC together, we doxed each other. So I think we're in this for the long haul anyway.
Agreed.
And if we see a small or a big dip in a couple of days or a week or two, that's nothing to worry. All the holders will still get their rewards, and we will still work hard towards marketing and building the utility we want to build.
Well, and that was something I kind of discussed with Howler a bit earlier today too, is even if we see a big dump, the amount that ends up in the liquidity and marketing wallets will literally, if need be, pay for the marketing and promotions and other necessary things that we would need to kind of get out of that. So having a big dump is as financially awesome to us as a big pump, like as the token in total, not like our personal like salaries, but like token in total. So even if there is a dump, it's designed in such a way to have the financial means that even if we feel disheartened, we have all the tools in place to get us out of that.
I've been in crypto long enough to see a pump and dump and a pump again, even higher. You know, anything that goes up must come down eventually, because the people that went in before the pump will get tempted to sell. You know, that's crypto in general.
Yeah.
So we're not just giving up on anyone selling, like, you know, some maybe one or two private sailors or pre-sailors selling. That's not going to discourage us. I don't think anything will actually discourage us.
I could see
building
even if it was a 50% drop, I'm still going to be just gunning for the moon. Like, that's just a challenge, another challenge for me, is all it is.
I mean, there's just more taxes for everybody, you know,
Exactly.
And then they use that back marketing and all that to go back up and rebound back.
Exactly.
You know, as long as you know, smart money management, and don't blow, you know, on some stupid influencers that, you know, not going to do anything for you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
You worked with me on getting this AMA set up. I'm a pain in the ass to work with, so I don't just pay anybody for anything.
Yeah, you definitely are, man.
But I do it for a reason. It's just one of those, everybody and their mother is chomping at the bit and offering, you know, stars for peanuts, and then they run away with the peanuts. And, you know, I don't want to see my team get fucked before this launches, and I don't want to see the community get fucked after it launches. So, I mean, I ask 100 questions and verify and get annoying and verify some more. Because if you're going to put up with me through all of that, then I know that you're going to be a serious person to work with in the future.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I kind of get what you guys are all about. So I have like one more like question in a way, and then we have a whole bunch of community questions. So we'll get to those too. So the 3% private sale.
Yes.
Is there a discount on it, or what was the discount for that?
Sure. So the 3% private sale, the discount, it was the total value. So the B&B ratio was 1.5 times the pre-sale. So the pre-sale is, if off the top of my head, should be 18,650,000,000, and the private sale was 27,975,000,000. The majority of the people who bought it on private sale, though, bought less than one B&B. I think we had very few that bought 1, 2, or the max 3 B&B. Most of them was like 0.1, 0.2. They were under the even one B&B.
So everyone
Okay.
who actually bought in the private sale took a leap of faith in us that we
Yeah.
actually wouldn't run
Just
away with it.
Run away with, yeah.
And I think we kind of proved them. So many, because we came from a broken community, so many of them still had doubts.
Yeah.
And we kind of proved them wrong in a way. Well, at least for now. And we haven't reached our hard cap on the private sale, so I think 2.2% was burned.
Yeah, we hit
So
roughly
only
25% of the total amount that. So I was gunning for 10% of the 100 B&B total as what I wanted for the private sale. We hit about 27, and then the remaining amount, so that would be 63 B&B worth, which was about 2 trillion tokens, was sent to the burn.
Okay. And so the last question is about your pre-sale.
Sure.
What is your hard cap, and when is the pre-sale happening?
Hard cap is 1,000 B&B. The pre-sale starts at 9 p.m. UTC on the 26th, so this coming Friday.
Oh man, that's
basically
like
in
their
4
project,
days.
man, on the 26th.
All right, I know, but we're the good
Come on.
project. We're the one that everyone's gonna want. We are whitelist only for the first 24 hours. So anybody who's on this call, honestly, if you believe in this so far, you want to be whitelisted, shoot me a DM with your wallet, and I'll make sure you're on the list.
How many wireless spots do you guys have so far?
I mean, you want the real number or you want the inflated number?
Just kind of like that, just
We're-
ballpark.
We're a little over 1,000 right now.
And what is the maximum contribution going to be?
The max contribution is 3 B&B.
Okay, do you think 1,000 is a little too much?
Do I think it's too much?
Because I feel projects that have that high of a hard cap usually don't do that well. Like they barely 1.5, maybe not even 2x, and then everyone just kind of like whatever, they're out, and then it goes below pre-sale price, and then after that people like start flooding because they're like, oh, it's below pre-sale, you know, like because we've seen so many projects that do like 2,000 B&B and like 1,500, like G2 for example. They're super cocky, they have a lot of hype, and then can't even 2x, and then like slow rugs after that.
Honestly,
So it's difficult to pull something off with that high of a hard cap.
Well, and I honestly think that we're selling ourselves short on the hard cap. To be safe, there's a reason why it's a 500 soft cap, just on the off chance that like shit hits the fan and we have all this momentum and then it ends up being like Black Friday and the week after Thanksgiving and everybody's spending money on Christmas instead. Like we wanted to kind of give ourselves that what if people don't have the money barrier. I really think, though, that if we would have done this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and we shot for that 2,000 hard cap, we probably would hit it. But I would rather shoot for that 1,000 and then the price go up than shoot for 2,000 and then it do look stagnant. So that is part of the reason why we're only going for the 1,000 B&B hard cap.
I mean, you guys still got a couple days.
Oh, 100%.
Just letting you know, just from the projects that I've seen, like, you know, like to fill 1,000 B&B and then actually have enough buy pressure at launch, it takes a lot of investors, a lot of people, you know, like that's why we tend to like projects with a lower hard cap because the devs know that, you know, here's the thing, like if everyone's allowed to buy in pre-sale, who's going to buy at launch?
Correct.
You know?
Exactly.
You're not wrong. And
So there needs to be a balance. It's all about supply and demand. If everyone gets the supply at pre-sale, there's no demand at launch.
Correct. Well, and that is part of why we're running only a 24-hour whitelist too, which kind of anybody who's hearing it on the back end and is chomping at the bit gets it the next day if we don't hit the hard cap, or if it does, we're immediately going onto the swap to continue that upward momentum. Part of why we are going, though, for a higher hard cap is we want to make sure that we can fund these projects quickly. I want to see that swap in under 6 months. I really think we could do it even less.
But shouldn't you be funding it based on the success of your launch, not on the success of, you know, how much you could collect at pre-sale? Because if you could get more at pre-sale, but then token's gonna tank because of there's not enough demand for it and people
Well,
panic
see,
panic
that's the
sell.
kind of thing. That's kind of a viewpoint of a like a meme coin or something that pumps and pumps and pumps and then dumps. So we're going for a utility here, and will see a growth. We basically want to see a growth in like a steady kind of growth over a long period of time, because that's how utility works. The more use case we got, the more the higher the price will be. So we aren't looking to do this like a meme token, or I can't even name a few. I don't know, but we do want to build this exclusivity for people to get in and hold. Um, but at the same time, we're not looking to go full throttle, do a 1000x at first and then dump 2000x. So we kind of do want to build a use case for people to use us, instead of like build the hype up and the hype dies down and everyone just forgets about us.
Yeah, but how long do you think it'll take after launch before you will have all the other things going for you, like the platform, like all the other use cases, the other projects?
I'm gonna work right off the bat whenever we launch. We do have a successful launch, and I'm going to work on it right away. So, do you need funding for that?
Yeah, we're already starting to look into both personal requirements, what we're able to do towards it, as well as finding like doxed, vetted, and appropriate like programmers to work with. So we've already been in contact with a few to kind of establish relations based on where we are with the project. So like I said, at most I could see it being 6 months, but we're trying to do it sooner. We also don't want it to be buggy as hell, because that's the worst case scenario. So it's finding that fine line between getting it out fast enough to keep the momentum going, but also not release a buggy, shitty product that causes people to lose money.
Like Joe is being generous by saying 6 months, but I do see this a lot sooner. So, when we put our mind, it's not like 20 people working on one thing. We do have a team that is going to work on certain aspects, like marketing. So Joe will be overlooking everything mostly, and I'll be more into development. So AJ will be more into marketing. So Joe will be, doing this and that, of course, but there will be a person that's always focused on one thing, and our focus is to build a Dream Swap and the staking platform as soon as possible, without any bugs, of course, or anything that would crash the chart whenever we release.
Okay, so what would you tell to somebody that says, well, why would I buy it at pre-sale if like obviously the hard cap's pretty high, like I feel like it's gonna drop because it's gonna take a couple months to release like all these use cases, and most projects that don't have something working right off the bat, like they take a big or a slow dump for a while until they start releasing those things, and then it moons. So it's like, why would someone buy into pre-sale instead of just buying the big dip? Like a day later or 3 days later or a week later. Because if projects don't have their platforms and use cases ready by the time they launch, they're not just gonna moon straight. Like you even said yourself, you guys are more of a long-term kind of thing. So it's like, why even get into pre-sale at all? Why not just wait for a dip and get it below pre-sale?
If you want to miss out on the 8% reflections as it dips, to inevitably have more money during the dip than you would have had if you waited to buy during the dip, that's kind of on you. But end of day, if you buy in on the pre-sale, whether it goes up or goes down, your total supply and the value of what you hold will go up, whether the coin is going up or going down. So I would love for you to also buy the dip, but financially, it's going to make more sense to buy in at pre-sale and you hold through the dip, because then once it goes back up, which inevitably it will, you're going to have seen gains that you couldn't have got by trying to time the market. Always, time in market trumps timing the market.
Yeah, and we do have Pink Sale wallet excluded from taxing.
Yep.
So everyone who goes in will receive their full amount. Well, in reality, they should because that's what Pinksil said. So that's a big incentive to actually not get taxed on your first purchase.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I actually like the fact that you have the 8% and you could actually get it before trading starts. So you could withdraw from Pink Sale because the biggest volume is going to be in the beginning, and like a lot of times when you have to like claim your tokens after launch because there's no stop trading function, people miss out a lot on the early reflections.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely could see like where reflections are crazy, and you could get a couple BNBs, even the first couple hours. Like I've
At
seen
the
that
same
happen with
time,
other tokens.
don't get me wrong. When I said, we're this a long term and this and that, we are still gonna have a lot of marketing, on everyday basis, being done, because we do
Yeah,
have a dedicated marketer on our team, and Joe as well is a marketer. So they'll be working on this every day.
Oh, I'll do
So
a call like this every single day of the week if I can. I love these things. But
yeah,
there's other
so
things in place besides just AMAs in the works.
it's not gonna be like we're just gonna do the pre-sale and just die off for a couple of weeks or something like that. That's not gonna happen. Things are gonna get moving fast and quick, so you better be on it.
yeah. I mean, that's what most devs say, but a lot of times what they're hoping for is not really how it turns out. But definitely not saying you guys are doing that because I definitely think you guys have what it takes. But like obviously every single dev is gonna say that like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it, don't worry about it,
Of
we
course.
got this. And
We
then
have
like
to.
I said, like 99% of them cry and take off with their V2 or V3, or just take off with the marketing wallet and never come back. But like
Exactly.
honestly, like I like everything about like honestly, like so far in my opinion, like everything looks good. The only thing I don't like really is the hard cap.
Okay. Understandable.
I do see your point, because you still estimates it at 1.4 million, and
Yeah.
to 10x from that, it would have to reach basically maybe 12 to 15 million market cap. And it's,
Yeah,
in my
exactly. So it's
opinion,
like, why get in early? Basically the early guys are not really getting that big of a reward
yeah,
for trusting
I
the
do
token,
see
you know what I mean?
what you're saying, but in reality, 15 or 20 million market cap in crypto is nothing. Let's be blatant about that. If you do your work right, it's nothing. So, and we do have a team of people who will be working in their own kind of area. So I don't see a problem even 10x or 20x. And of course, that's not financial advice. People should always
Yeah, I mean
do
that's
their own
true, right?
research.
It's true.
Also,
But like I'm saying, as every investor would like, for example, if it gets to 10 million, let's say I put 3 BNB in, it gets to 10 million. Yeah, I get my 10x, I get 30 BNB. But imagine if it was actually 300,000 market cap and it goes to 10 million. That's
right.
a 30x.
No, you're right. But also too, like sometimes you got to take that leap of faith. Think about when SafeMoon launched. If you would put $300 into SafeMoon at launch, which was what, March of this year, you'd have $24 million. I think is what the math comes out to be. And really,
I think it went up like 23,000 times.
something like that.
Something
Like
like that.
it's not. I'm not saying we're going to be the next SafeMoon, but sometimes you also just got to take that leap of faith.
And which pre-sale, I mean, the private sale people did take, and we are doing our best to actually deliver on that. And we are not here to stop doing that. So I do see where you're coming from, because your community is anti-ruggers. So you do kind of have that. You do kind of have to have that
I appreciate that.
thing to.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it, like American dream, right? Like at the end of the day, we're not here to for world peace. We're here to make money and get
Agreed.
financially free and solve our life goals. Either get out of debt, or a lot of people here are from other countries, like third world countries or second world countries, where
Yeah.
even like $300 is huge for them. So they could
Exactly.
put in maybe 0.1 BNB, even a 5x is huge.
Agreed.
So most people here in BSC, we're not here to be angel investors or venture capitalists. We're here to actually make money. It doesn't matter what the use case is. At the end of the day, the devs here also, they're not here to solve world hunger. They're here to make money too. Like, let's face it, that's why everyone and their mom are launching tokens. It's because they all say, "Oh, look, that guy made like 200K on a launch, and it went to shit, but he still made 200K. So why can't I do it?"
Exactly.
you do have a point. You do have a big point. But in reality, if you would know me as a person, I don't really care about money. I do want money to actually live off, and not to go to actual backbreaking work. To do manual labor that actually is killing my body.
What?
So I just personally, I just want kind of that support that I can live off, and not buy any yachts or houses like that. So,
And that's kind of the
and as you
drive of the whole team is we're not in this to make a shit ton of money. So if we see dips or hiccups, like it's not really impacting our plans and our goals, because if we see a dip and we lose a little money, it's not really losing money because it wasn't money we were intending on taking anyways, whether we sold part of our wallets or whatever. Like it's the long-term goal of all of this. So really it kind of solidifies through the ups and downs how this team is going to handle all of it.
And we
Okay,
can make
fair enough.
all the promises. We can make all the promises, but the time will tell how we actually do this. And we do have a solid plan to go full throttle with this.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys advice. Like there's actually like not a fine line, but there's a whole gradient of being to the point where the devs get too greedy. For example, let's say you launch with a 20 BNB hard cap and everyone gets 0.1 BNB max contribution. People are gonna kill for those whitelist spots because they know it's gonna go crazy. Even 0.1 BNB is gonna go 100x probably. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is someone launching like 5,000 BNB, 10,000 BNB to where they can barely even fill the pre-sale after maybe a day or two, and then nobody really cares about that because they're like, oh, no one really wants to buy a pre-sale. Why would I even care? Like, what is it going to do at launch? So there's two ends of the spectrums, and I think as a dev, your job is to know your demand, know your audience, know your community, and what the soft spot or the sweet spot is for like a hard cap, because hard cap I think is going to determine the first couple of weeks for sure. Like I said, if hard cap's too high, it's not going to take off. People are going to flood it. People are going to sell. Doesn't matter what use case is. If it takes 90%, most people are going to get out. And
Oh yeah, of course. That's
if it's
crypto.
too small, it's going to go up a lot too. But then of course they have huge dumps because the liquidity is low. So you want to have a good sweet spot to where everyone's happy. Like, as much people as possible are happy, and they're happy to hold because it didn't tank below pre-sale. It's going up, and they see that devs are working. I think that's the sweet spot. And sometimes it's hard for devs to see that, like what it is. Like they get too greedy. They have like ask for like 2,000 BNB hard cap when they only have like 1,000 or 2,000 people in Telegram, and it barely even fills. And for those kind of projects, I don't even waste my time, to be honest. I'm just giving you like, I'm just giving you what I do. Like
Yeah.
if I see 300 hard cap or 500, and there's like 5,000 people in a Telegram, and there's like 3,000 online, then I'm definitely gonna ape in because I know almost guaranteed it's gonna go like 3-5x, and I'm never gonna see pre-sale rate, so I know it's not gonna tank in the middle of the night.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I know we're being ambitious. We did tone it down a little bit, but still confident in the process.
Yeah, very confident. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so that's just all I had. So we could just move on to the questions. We have a couple questions in here. I think probably some of them are already covered. I'm not sure,
Fair enough.
but we could go down a list. So let's see with JMod. Where will the capital for small business startups come from? Investors. Okay, I think we talked about that already. It's going to be from your other
Yeah, secondary
platforms, right?
Yep, secondary and tertiary income from the other platforms.
Okay, do you see where I'm reading the questions? Let me go tag it for you right now.
Actually, don't.
And then you guys could just go down and answer them yourself.
Sure.
I just tagged it where I was reading it from.
Fully audited, yes. Measures for rug pull done. Should we
yeah,
More
this one.
exactly.
Well, Victor, I'll start there. Should we invest in promises? Platform coming soon. I totally understand where you're coming from, and realistically, should you invest in promises? No. You have to take a leap of faith on this because I could promise you the world, and it's kind of up for you to do your own research on it. If you believe in it, I mean, I'm here for the long haul, and I really want to see what comes from this. If you don't, and you have hesitation, and you want to wait, then wait. End of day, I'd love to see you do it on the pre-sale, but if you want to wait, wait. I have nothing but support for it. Just don't let FOMO eat at you. Marketing team, what other projects have we done outside of the crypto space? Most of what we've done has been real world experience. So like I said, I've worked with William Grant, I've worked with Heineken, a mix of experiential and just standard marketing across all platforms. 99% of projects to launch fund and for the platform.
By the way, like I wanted to confirm, was private sale 50% cheaper?
No, private sale was, yeah, I guess that would be the math. I apologize. It was 1.5 times the pre-sale price.
You mean 1.5 times cheaper? So like 33% cheaper. You get 1.5 times the tokens, not double the tokens.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's like 33%, something like that. Because yeah, if it's 50%, it'll be double the tokens.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. See, marketing team. What other projects have they done? We answered that. 99% of projects need a launch to fund their platform. The only problem is that they need to spend big on marketing too to ensure enough money keeps coming in for development.
Correct.
Okay,
So I guess we'll touch on that really quick. 70% of the liquidity for the launch is being locked into PancakeSwap. The other 30% is actually going for marketing and further development. So when we hit that hard cap, 300 of that 1,000 is what's going into all of these projects, as well as further marketing. So it's a big, immediate, upfront fund to just hit the ground, not even running, but freaking bolting. So that is part of why the hard cap is so high, that we can follow up on these promises at an accelerated rate. Because I do know that 6 months, I mean, that's a long time, but I really think that if we hit that hard cap with the people that we're talking to, that swap is going to be out before we know it. I don't want to say end of year, but I mean, it's going to be out very quickly. What else? Stagnator double is 100%. Telegram glitches, answer this already. I feel like that's kind of all the questions. There's a couple of repeats. If there's anybody who has something really quick that they want to post, I'm at the bottom, so I can go answer it.
There was a couple more questions here.
I might have scrolled through them fast. If you want to shout them out, holler, I'll answer them.
Question for American Dream. What's the estimated cost to develop your platform? So Jmod. So estimated cost.
Which platform?
rough-
I should say, but yeah.
I'll
let you answer
your
that.
platforms. So he basically means platforms.
Okay.
So platforms would be more like in hundreds of maybe thousands. But the Dream Swap and the staking platform, roughly we're looking at like anywhere from 20 to 40K to do a fine job with it. A fine job.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna move on then.
Yeah. The last question I just saw: how will business owners who apply funds be vetted? We're not just giving money away to everybody, so they will have to supply a business plan. There will be other information that they'll have to supply, just like kind of getting any other loan, just to validate seriousness. The community will vote on it. However, they don't pay it back. It's not a loan. It's designed to be a way for us to reconnect with people who otherwise would not have been funded and fund their dreams. So it is more of a gift than anything. And it's why it's going to be the last leg of the journey, because it's going to be one of those, it's going to be a very large financial endeavor, but the long-term goal of it is it should be something that every time we give money out, just inherently knowing that this platform gave money out is going to draw more investors in, and it's going to increase the value overall from doing that.
Yeah. Then we got Jmod again. Is Jmod even in the chat? Yes, he is in the chat. So, is development of DreamSwap started? And is it done in-house or contracted out to a third party? So it'll be basically done in-house, and third party will be brought in as well to work on it.
There will be.
So
Go ahead.
so there will be experts working on it. At the same time, it'll be done right in my supervision and Joe's supervision. So it'll be done by experts, and it won't be done by anyone just starting blockchain. I hope that answers your question.
That looks like Dave, when a project uses your token to pay for services on your platform, what happens to those tokens? We have not fully solidified what the plan is for that. Ideally, like say we use it for the launch, they pay for it, the launch with our tokens. Those tokens will most likely just be sent to a burn wallet, but at the same time, it's going to kind of depend on where we are to specify that, because it could be what's used for liquidity, or it could be used for giveaways. There's a million concepts, so that's still one thing that needs to be solidified, but it's because it's 3 projects down the road. We're kind of waiting to finalize that just to make sure that we're not either giving false promises or doing the wrong thing. And then Jordan, do we have any investors lined up? We actually have quite a few that are lined up. And when it comes to partnerships, there are a few things in discussion. However, they have requested, and we've done NDAs, to not disclose that until we launch, because nobody wants to put their name on a failed project. And while I don't think that we're going to fail, I also don't want to break an NDA by saying, oh yeah, we partnered with so-and-so, and then kind of put that out in there. And then if we don't launch, to have that whole like, well, why did you say we were partnered together when we said specifically wait till you launch? So can't really discuss it, but there are quite a few things that we are working on in that are in the works, and a lot of them are very eager and anxious to work with us, and they're also going to be investors in the project just because they believe, and want to see what we have kind of in the pipeline.
So there's quite a bit of people saying that the hard cap is too high. See, that's the point of view of yourself to make more profit, and we made it in a point of view that we can actually sprint towards this development of the utility. And get.
I guess to touch on that even further, so our hard cap is 1,000, our soft cap is 500. If we hit the soft cap but we don't hit the hard cap, the remaining tokens are burned, increasing the value of each token immediately. So even if we only get halfway there, so yeah, you're all viewing the hard cap as being high, I'm viewing the soft cap as being, low. It still has solid potential, but it really depends on what you're there for. If you are trying to make a quick buck, it kind of concerns me too, a little bit on that, because you put your money in at a 250 hard cap and then you see it 10x and you sell out. Like, that's not the kind of investors we're looking for on our project. We want long-term holders.
Yeah.
I don't want to see people who are flipping my token for a quick profit. I want you to make money, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to bring in people that are just going to flip this and hinder the progress either.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Howler.
Thank you.
I sent you both a DM.
Awesome.
DM.
And
I appreciate that.
And I love the project, love the website. So be glad to jump on board with you guys.
I love it.
Thank you very much, Billy. I did receive your address. I think Joe received it as well.
Who am I talking
Well,
to?
By the way, who should we DM?
Joe,
guys?
I already gave it to you. He's part of my team.
Yes. Okay.
He's part of my team. Yay!
Let's go, Diamond Anders.
There we go. I guess it answers. Do I have investors lined up? I think we have like half a dozen that joined your call just to listen to me talk again because they believe in it so much. So I look forward to working with you guys too.
Yeah.
So who should we DM our wallets to? Joe?
Yes, I'll be the one who's doing the final compilation of the whitelist. You can send them to Howler as well, but I'm the one who will do the final. So if you send it to me...
Send it to Joe, yeah.
If you send it to me and you don't hear from me, you can follow up with him. But as anybody who's talked to me will say, like, I'm kind of a psycho. I only sleep like 4 hours a day, and I'm pretty responsive to the best of my ability. So I will confirm to... Like, I've seen a few people who've DM'd me, so I will confirm with everybody that has sent me their wallets.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Cool. That's amazing. Honestly, guys, let's get this out of the way, the giveaway.
Sure.
we got 4 winners, right? I'm gonna send $50 to 2, and then you'll do to 2.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm gonna spin for the ones that I'm sending out first. So the first 2 winners, I'll send 50 BUSD each. So let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can win multiple times. So if you win twice, then you're just lucky today.
Good luck, everyone.
Okay, Dave.
Dave.
Congrats, Dave. I swear, I think you won like yesterday too, or some other day.
Yeah, well, I was on the whitelist.
Actually, you won the whitelist yesterday. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, awesome. Okay, second spin. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, my name is on the wheel.
You
Your
just
name is
joined.
not on the wheel?
Yes,
You just joined, man.
You're too late.
Well, that was too late, man.
Basilio won yesterday's too. $100.
Hey,
Dang.
this is rigged. Same winner.
Flashing my name.
And it's you're in there, but I'll add Reggie too, because honestly he just joined, so technically I shouldn't add him, but I'll add him.
I was here before we even started the meeting. The virtual.
Well,
I've been here before we started.
you guys seen me. I've been doing it for like 5 minutes. I took everyone that was in voice chat at that time. So if you join earlier or later, then you wouldn't be on there. But I'll add. The whole point of this is you want to be here early, not just at the end. I picked Jamal, so we'll do 2 more. And then these ones you guys are gonna,
Yes, sir. I got
Joe's gonna send it out. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Hey, wait, my name's not on the list. What's going on?
Oh yeah, me and you are
I'm just
disqualified,
messing- I'm
man.
just messing
Crypto
with
Mac.
Crypto Mac. Awesome.
Okay, last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's close.
NorCal. I love that guy, actually. So that makes me really excited. He's like
he's in your
he is. He's like the king of shillers in my group. You should see his giant rocket message. Nice.
Congrats, bro.
Congrats. Better spend that on us. So NorCal, I'll DM
Yeah, NorCal
you.
already won before in our group too.
Did he? Nice. He probably came from your group, honestly.
Congrats, more. Congrats.
Yeah.
He's part of my team.
Oh, is he? Look at that. Well, good. I'm glad someone on your team won.
And well, NorCal's also in our group too for a long time.
Yeah.
So
Good.
good guy. He's actually my neighbor.
Is he really? I'm sorry.
I mean, he's from NorCal, and so am I.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know exactly where he lives.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Awesome. Well, NorCal, I'll shoot you a DM here in a second. Let me get Crypto Mac first, just because I haven't had communication with him yet. And then we'll get your wallets, and I'll send you over some money.
Hey, check. Well, Becky, your name is on the list. You were like the 5th or 6th person I added. Okay, let me share the screen. I'll share it. Can you still see the screen, guys?
Yeah.
Do you see? Check. Your name's right here. I just didn't spell out the whole thing. It's too long.
Oh boy, I'll just DM you now.
Okay, yeah. I think the winners, Basilio and Dave. Give me your wallets, and then the other 2,
Yep.
DM Joe. But yeah, thanks, guys. I'll end the voice chat right now. I'll end the recording. Officially over right now.
I just want to add one thing. Since we went actually public with our project, there seems to be a lot of scams, copycats popping up. So I just want to warn everybody to actually, do your research before you just blindly invest into that kind of stuff, because they're actually coming for us. They're trying to shill in our chat. They're poaching people. So I just kind of want to warn people towards that. to just be careful out there.
Yeah, verify that it's on the pink sale. If you see it launched at any point, it's not us.
Oh yeah,
So-
honestly, I don't know who actually falls for that shit. I haven't fallen for that once, but yeah, I
We've
think
had a lot of
especially
people-
in our group, anti-ruggers, we tell
Yeah.
people, check our spreadsheet, make sure, go to the real telegrams, check the pins, don't rush, make sure you buy, go on pink sale, make sure it's the right pink sale, it's spelled correctly. Like, we definitely warn people, because I feel, if the more hype the project is, the more fake, scam sites there are too, and fake telegrams.
Well, and we've actually
And we
had
have
people who have joined our group thinking we were those tokens, and then we've kind of explained to them what's happened and what the project is, and have won them over to wait and invest in our project as well. So they went from like buying without researching to now going to buy a legitimate project. So it's been like a blessing and a curse.
So just want to make sure that people actually stay careful out there, because it's not regulated right now, and people are losing a lot of money. So did I at first, and so did Joe. And just stay safe out there. Just don't FOMO into anything without doing your research, because that one it gets you. The FOMO gets you.
But thanks, guys. I'll end the recording right now, and
Of course.
if anyone has any questions, you can still stay around for a couple minutes.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for everything, guys. It's been nothing short of a pleasure.
Yeah, same here. We enjoyed having you here, and I think the community definitely liked it. So we always love to have good projects over here. So another successful AMA. Thanks for coming over here.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
And now that we know
Be
each
here.
other too,
It's like you vetted us.
Yeah.
You vetted me first to have an AMA here before.